And hi, everybody, and welcome to Around the Ancient Eight, our weekly look at men's and women's basketball here in the Ivy League. I'm Dan Loney. Today, we're previewing the women's slate of games coming up this weekend, and joining us to discuss it, Scott Sudikoff, who is the Ivy League digital network correspondent for the Harvard Crimson, and he joins us from Cambridge, Massachusetts. Scott, thanks for a couple of minutes.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
So the Crimson right now amongst the top teams in the league on the women's side right this moment. But it really has a lot to do with the combination of Christine Clark and Temi Fagbenle. Tell us about their play.
You know, they're a great combo to have. Christine Clark, I've been able to watch her for 4 years, and she's been a terrific player really all 4 years she's been at Harvard. Second leading scorer in the Ivy League right now. She can get to the basket strong. She can make a shot from the outside. She's good at the free throw line. She plays defense, so she's really that all-around player that is the engine for the Crimson, gets them going. And then Temi Fagbenle is really just in the paint, grabs every rebound in sight, almost 10 rebounds a game, leads the Ivy League, and then not to mention she puts in 13 points a game. So that combination right there gets you about 30 points per contest. You know, Fagbenle is a double-double machine, and Clark, earlier this year, 6 straight 20-plus point games. So she is a prolific scorer in the Ivy League. You put those two together, and you can dominate a game if those two players are playing at their best.
Yeah, when they talk about the Crimson, obviously they do talk a lot about the combination of Clark and Fagbenle, but the Crimson have a pretty good bench that they use, including the combination of Jasmine Evans and Elise Gordon.
You know, it's really important, and you can go right back to the last game they played Saturday against Yale, when the combination of Clark and Fagbenle only scored 15 points in that game. And if you were to say that at the beginning of the game, you would think Yale would come out with the victory. But, the bench comes out, they find a way to get the job done. And Jasmine Evans has been a player who's battled back in her career, and she's been able to play 24 minutes a game this year, score 8 points a game, get out there. And then Elise Gordon kind of goes in there for Temi Fagbenle to give her a spell. Gordon may only play 14 minutes a game, 5 points, 4 rebounds, but you think about that, 14 minutes, you double that, that's 10 points, 8 rebounds. So she does her job. And then you get contributions from a young player like Anne-Marie Healy, at different portions during the season. So it's a well-balanced team. And like you said, the bench contributes, but also that starting lineup, though, is so important. If you look at it, it's been the same starting lineup every single game except for the 3 games that Christine Clark missed, and you had Jasmine Evans slide right in.
Well, now the top 3 teams on the women's side are all at home this weekend: Harvard, Penn, and Princeton. So what do you expect to see coming out of this weekend's games?
Start with Harvard, obviously. Being at home this weekend, huge for them, being 5-1 in the Ivy League. 6 of the final 8 Ivy League games for the Crimson are at home. I expect them to control their home court like they've done. 19 straight games they've won at Levites Pavilion, much like the men's team. Unfortunately, that streak went down last Saturday against Yale. So Columbia and Cornell games, you look at that, you would say they should win, put quotes around that they should win at home. And then looking at Penn and Princeton, I look at, the same way for them, that I expect them to hold serve at home court with their games. And Penn and Princeton are good home teams as well. Maybe they don't have the streak that Harvard does, but Penn and Princeton play great defense. You play at home, you play great defense, you're going to be in those games. And we saw it when Penn, that easy victory over Harvard, 67-38. So I really would expect all 3 teams to come out of Saturday with 2 more wins on the docket.
Scott, thanks very much for joining us here on Around the Ancient Eight.
All right, thanks for having me, Dan.
And don't forget to stay tuned right here on the Ivy League Digital Network for complete coverage of this weekend's games. And don't forget that there are complete highlights of both the men's and women's games coming up on Monday and Tuesday.